Hey, what's up? This is Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz, and this is my weekly video blog called Bullheaded, a review of the Houston Texans news, as well as a preview of the upcoming game matchups. Now, this week's episode is entitled the In or Out episode, with one simple question. Are the Texans in or are they out? So we all know it's around that time, week 12, we start seeing those playoff scenarios start to formulate. Teams got their 7 wins, 6 wins, or whatever. And so we look at these playoff pictures that the sports shows put up. It shows who's all winning the division, leading the divisions right now. Then it has who's all in control of the wild card, of course, just those playoff teams without a division lead. Then you have like the 30,000 teams sitting on the right, that's in the hunt. Those 5-5, those 4-6 teams, 3-6 teams, or whatever. And so we see them every year. And this year, our Houston Texans just happen to be one of those teams. It's hard to believe, like, everything that we've been through so far, losing a franchise quarterback, losing a star offensive lineman, just getting beat down senselessly in the secondary the last couple of weeks. Somehow we are still sitting in a playoff hunt at 4-6. And, we're not the only ones, not just in this conference, but, in the NFC as well. It's the same picture. Some of the teams that you thought were going to fall off by the end of the year, somehow they're still holding on. I mean, look at the Green Bay Packers. They lost Aaron Rodgers, and yet somehow they're still kind of in the middle of the playoff hunt well, I'm not going to say for whatever reason. We know part of that is because of Aaron Rodgers, but that's neither here nor there right now. We're talking about the Texans. So basically, these last few games, you just have to wonder, are the Texans in this or are they out of this? Now, the reasons they should be in this is the playoffs. Everybody wants a shot at the playoffs. Everybody thinks that once they get in the playoffs, there's a shot at the title. And why not? Think about the run that Pittsburgh had back in like '05, I believe. That '05-06 season, when they came in as like, I believe it was fifth or sixth seed, and then they just straight up took it. Like, they just did a gauntlet through the whole thing all the way into the Super Bowl. Just stories like that. And it's like, well, hell, even think about the Giants back in '08 when they were in the same predicament, just a 6 seed, and just pretty much ran through, the entire playoffs. Packers as well, back in 2010, I believe, '09, 2010 season. They were just, a lower seed in the playoffs and just ran through. I believe it was actually the 2010 season. But point is, you just had these squads that were just, pretty much in the playoff hunt, around week 12, and all of a sudden we're calling them Super Bowl champions by February. So that could be a reason the Texans are in it. They might feel like, hey, we're in this hunt. Maybe we can flip this into a playoff berth. Let's take a shot at some of these teams and see if we can get a run going. Reasons they should be out of it or could be out of it. I mean, what do they have to like really compete? When you look around at some of these playoff teams right now, you see teams that have, great defenses, great quarterbacks, great running backs, just weapons on either side of the ball. That'll make for some great Saturday afternoon action in January. But the Texans, we do have, great receivers, but at the quarterback position, we're still a little, questionable. To be honest with you, our defense has gotten a little bit questionable. To be honest with you, so it's like, maybe we should probably sit this one out. If we lose a couple more games, then, maybe we'll get us a good draft spot. I was doing the counts just now, and I believe by the record, the Texans, they might be a 10th or 11th pick right now, so far. I mean, things could change by the end of the weekend. Shoot, things could change by the end of week 15. So definitely they're looking at, definitely the Texans are sitting in a favorable spot if they want to, just tank the rest of the season and just see what they can pick up in the draft, whether it's, defense player, offensive player. I mean, too generic or whatever. And, in my opinion, definitely a safety or cornerback. But enough of that to be said. But yeah, just two different reasons of whether they should be in or out. Now, these last few games that they have could determine whether or not they are in or out. So it starts Monday with the Baltimore Ravens. Let's see if I can pull this up real quick. There we go. So yeah, after the Ravens, um, they're going to stay on the road actually, and visit the Tennessee Titans. And so that's going to be a rematch from earlier this season, when we actually blew the Titans out, and that was a yeah, 57-14. So yeah, not your not your average NFL blowout, but definitely, Titans are going to be looking for some revenge, and probably the main reason is, um, uh, this guy's name, drawing a blank here. Mariota, yeah, Marcus quarterback Marcus Mariota was knocked out in the first half. So when they put his replacement in, it was a totally different ball game. So yeah, I don't know. Their backup could not really compete with whatever Deshaun Watson was doing in that game. So definitely they got a healthy Mariota now, and so they're going to be looking to probably drop 57 on us, if not 114. So definitely the Texans need to be ready for that right there. So after those two road games, Texans are going to come back home. They're going to get San Francisco. And so, San Francisco, they're 1-9 right now. They're out of the playoffs. Only thing, pretty much, this is their second preseason. They're trying to evaluate what talent that they do have. So I wouldn't even be surprised if they put in Jimmy Garoppolo around this time. After that, the Texans they're going back on the road, and they're taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And so that's going to be a rematch from the season opener. And unfortunately, we won't be able to have Watson to play that whole game. He only played the second half of the season opener loss to the Jaguars, only because they tore Savage apart in that first half. And O'Brien was like, "Nah, bro, you got to go." So um, it's gonna be something watching. It's gonna be something watching Savage make his return against Jacksonville for that whole game. Hopefully for the whole game, because he's balling out of control. But we'll see. It is what it is. After that, the Texans are coming back home to Pittsburgh, playing the Steelers on Christmas Day at 3:30. Um, that's the way this. I looked at that game a couple. Actually, I looked at that game on the schedule a couple times, and on paper, it's like I'm kind of flip floppy on it, because right now the Steelers are 8-2. Obviously, they're leading their division. Definitely sitting at the two spot right now, and so it can go one or two ways. Obviously, this could be a game where Pittsburgh is actually coming out, firing, trying to get to the one seed, or this could be the game where they can't go no higher, and they're just taking the they're just falling back right now. They had the spot locked up, and they're just saving a lot of their starters for pretty much the playoffs. So that's going to be a tricky game, and how that game goes is all going to depend on how the Steelers rest of their games go, for how their games go for the rest of the year. Houston and Indianapolis. So yeah, the season finale is going to be on the road against the Indianapolis Colts. And so that's going to be another rematch. And damn, I didn't realize that we lost two of our three division opponents. Wow. So, but yeah, that's going to be another rematch. and it's not so much a revenge game. Indianapolis has been out of the playoffs for like quite a while this season, and right now they're going through their preseason. They're auditioning Jacoby Brissett, for the Colts, and they're also auditioning him, the other teams because they want to make a trade involving him or anything. Because he's a pretty talented quarterback, pretty dope quarterback, and so I'm even though he's like primarily a backup, I'm pretty sure they could trade him in for some draft picks or whatever to help build our roster. But in that game, I believe it's going to be definitely be a competitive game. And given the situation and nature that we're in right now, as far as the playoff hunt go, I'm pretty sure we're still going to be in the playoff hunt, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be coming at our throats to knock us out of it. And so there's not so much that those last few games that's on the schedule could actually determine whether we're in this game, whether we're in the playoffs or not. But it's going to be more so our play. How are we going to come out and attack these teams? We have to make sure that we attack all of their weaknesses first and foremost, and of course, just get our strengths from that. Um, it's going to be all about our attitude. If and that's just every game from, whether we're playing the 49ers, whether we're playing the Steelers. How we approach these games is definitely going to get us a win. But it's definitely, without question, it's going to start this Monday against the Baltimore Ravens. So with that being said, this is what the Texans kind of need to do to beat the Ravens. So Ravens offense trash. Like I cannot believe the numbers when I saw this. So the Baltimore Ravens are 32nd in passing yards. They're also 31st in yards allowed per game. And rushing yards, I was kind of astonished at. Um, I didn't realize they were that bad at the run. Uh, Actually, they're not that bad. At the run overall statistically, but in the last two games, I've been kind of troubled. Well, actually, not the last two, but um, actually, yes, the last two games. Sorry, last two games I've been kind of troubled by it. So, um, before that bye week, they played which is week 9. They played the Tennessee Titans. Their running back had 43 yards rushing. He was the leading rusher, 43 yards. Yeah. So that says a lot about Tennessee as well. But this is the last game that they had against the Green Bay Packers. Now get this, they shut out the Green Bay Packers 23-0. Yet the leading rusher was a Green Bay Packer who ran for 57 yards. In fact, despite being shut out, all the leading stats as far as like rushing, passing, receiving, they were all Packers. So Brett Hundley, he threw for 239 yards. Brett Hundley, Aaron Rodgers' backup, threw for 239 yards led the game. Devontae Adams had 126 yards receiving, led the game. So this is a team that's, we probably on paper, they probably look good. They have a 5-5 record. They're sitting at the 6th seed right now. Um, but other than that, like it's just they might not be as good as people think they are. We want them to be as good as we remember them from years past, previous seasons before. But now it's just not the same. A lot of those players are older. Terrell Suggs, he's older. Joe Flacco, the main guys that we do remember. And so it's kind of outputting like what we're seeing right now. So 32nd in passing yards, 31st in yards per game. Um, so what needs to happen is two main points that need to happen with happen to get a win against the Ravens. First, the defense must create turnovers. Um, I think that should be a main thing. Have plays where the secondary or secondary safeties, whatever. They just finding ways to like create turnovers, get interceptions, get fumbles. that's probably going to be a main key for an offense that's led by a veteran such as Joe Flacco. I mean, even though the numbers indicate that hey, they're not doing too much all season, you never know, especially with a team like the Texans. I mean, you are what your record says you are at the moment. So the Ravens will probably definitely try to take advantage of that. But I think we need to play a little bit above our record, and just really get after this team. So yeah, that'll be the one of the main things. Just create turnovers and get the ball back. Once we get the ball back, we need to run the ball, take advantage of the weak run defense. Ravens are 26 against the run, so we definitely need to take advantage of that. And the thing about the Texans is they have a great run game. Even with Dante Foreman when he was in there, like it was a great run game. They know how to rotate the backs. Um, Miller, of course, he's the lead back. After that, after that is Foreman, and I think they throw in Hunt on a couple of plays as well. And sometimes, Alfred Blue, he'll come in and do some cleanup as well. So definitely we need to take advantage of the weak run defense. Now, obviously, Foreman got hurt in the last game. I hope well wishes to him for a speedy recovery. But the Texans did sign Andre Ellington from the Arizona Cardinals. They claimed him off waivers, I believe, or whatever. But anyway, he's on the Texans now, and so I think that'll be a good thing to put him to the test in place of Foreman. And so, just get him and Miller out there and just kind of wear down this Ravens defense, this Ravens run defense. I think this is like the third straight game that the Texans have, played a team that is kind of like a sorry run defense, to be honest with you. And, it's I mean, it is what it is. When they played against the Rams, they ran the ball and they found, some success with running the ball. The problem is when they got down, they couldn't run the ball as much anymore. When they played against the Cardinals last week, they found some success with the run, and it just paid off. But the Cardinals are obviously way different than what the Los Angeles Rams are this season. So the running game is going to work, but it's just about how effective it can be, how consistent you can be with it. So definitely the Texans are going to have to be a little bit more consistent with the run game, and just keep that. Once they're more consistent with it, it'll be a little bit more effective, and it'll definitely push them to get this game. So yeah, the two things they need to do is just create turnovers and just power the offense a little bit more from the run game, and hey, we'll get the win for Monday. But that's all I got for y'all this week. I'm Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz. I'll holla.